Welcome back. Kindly subscribe and comment. The United States of America, a nation built on democracy. In its 248-year history, it has faced many challenges. Yet few moments have carried the weight and significance of the final week of the 2024 presidential election. As the clock ticks down to Election Day, the nation finds itself on a knife's edge. Anxiety and anticipation hang heavy in the air. Across living rooms and coffee shops, the election dominates conversations. Friends and families, colleagues and neighbors engage in passionate debates. They dissect every poll, every speech, every tweet. The candidates, Donald Trump and his Democratic challenger, crisscross the country. They hold rallies, participate in town halls, and make their final appeals to the American people. The stakes couldn't be higher. This election will determine the course of the nation for years to come. It will shape domestic policy, foreign relations, and the very fabric of American society. With so much at stake, every vote carries immense weight. The American people hold the future in their hands. As the final week of the campaign unfolds, Donald Trump finds himself with a narrow lead in national polls. It's a lead built on a coalition of his loyal base and a segment of undecided voters. They are drawn to his promises of economic prosperity and a return to America. First, policies. However, Trump's lead is precarious. The race remains tight in several key battleground states. Nevada, with its diverse electorate, could swing either way. Arizona, once a Republican stronghold, is now considered a toss-up. Georgia, with its growing suburban population, has emerged as a key battleground. Pennsylvania, a state with a rich industrial history, is once again at the center of the electoral map. Wisconsin, known for its independent streak, could prove decisive. And Michigan, a state that narrowly went for Trump in 2016, is once again up for grabs. National polls paint a picture of a tightly contested race, with Trump holding a slim advantage. However, these polls are just a snapshot in time. They are based on a sample of likely voters and are subject to a margin of error. The actual results on Election Day could vary. Furthermore, the national polls don't tell the whole story. The Electoral College system, not the popular vote, ultimately determines the winner of the presidency. This means that the outcome in a handful of battleground states will likely decide the election. In these battleground states, the polls are even tighter. Trump and his Democratic rival are locked in a statistical dead heat. The polls have fluctuated throughout the campaign, reflecting the fluidity of the race. With such narrow margins, every vote will matter. While the presidential race garners the lion's share of attention, the battle for control of the House of Representatives is equally consequential. The House, with its 435 members representing districts across the country, plays a vital role in shaping legislation and holding the president accountable. Currently, the House is under the leadership of Speaker Mike Johnson, a Republican from Indiana. Johnson, known for his calm demeanor and ability to work across the aisle, faces a formidable challenge from Hakeem Jeffries, the Democratic leader from New York. Jeffries, a rising star in the Democratic Party, is a skilled communicator and strategist. He has been a vocal critic of the Trump administration and has promised to restore a sense of normalcy and decorum to the House. Section 5, Johnson versus Jeffries, a clash of visions. The race for Speaker of the House represents a clash of visions for the future of the country. Johnson, a staunch conservative, champions policies that promote limited government, individual liberty, and free markets. He has been a vocal supporter of Trump's agenda and has pledged to continue the Republican Party's efforts to cut taxes, reduce regulations, and strengthen border security. Jeffries, on the other hand, offers a progressive vision for America. He supports policies that address income inequality, expand access to healthcare, and combat climate change. Jeffries has pledged to work to overturn Trump-era policies that he believes have harmed the environment, weakened the social safety net, and eroded democratic norms. The outcome of the House races will have a profound impact on the legislative agenda in Washington. A Republican-controlled House would likely continue to support Trump's policies, while a Democratic-controlled House would serve as a check on his power. Section 6. A House divided, predicting the unpredictable. Predicting the outcome of the House races is a fool's errand. With so many competitive races across the country, the balance of power could shift dramatically. Currently, the Republicans hold a slim majority in the House. However, Democrats are hoping to capitalize on a wave of anti-Trump sentiment to flip enough seats to regain control. Several factors will likely influence the outcome of the House races: the national political climate, the performance of the presidential candidates in individual districts, and local issues will all play a role. Turnout will be crucial. Democrats are hoping to mobilize their base, particularly young people and minority voters, who traditionally vote in lower numbers. Republicans, meanwhile, are counting on their base of white, working-class voters to turn out in force. Section 7. The power of the people. Every vote matters. In the final analysis, the outcome of both the presidential and congressional races rests in the hands of the American people. Every vote cast represents a voice, a choice, and a stake in the future of the nation. It is a reminder that, in a democracy, power ultimately resides with the people. As the campaign enters its final days, let us remember that, while elections are fiercely contested, they are also celebrations of democracy. They are opportunities to engage in civil discourse, to debate the issues that matter most, and to shape the direction of our nation. Let us exercise our right to vote with a sense of responsibility and purpose. Let us engage in respectful dialogue with those who hold different views. And let us remember that, regardless of the outcome, we are all Americans, united by a common bond and a shared destiny. Section 8. Campaigning Frenzy, a last push for votes. The final week of the campaign is a whirlwind of activity. Candidates crisscross the country, delivering speeches, holding rallies, and making their closing arguments to voters. Surrogates fan out to key states, knocking on doors, making phone calls, and urging people to vote. The airwaves are saturated with political ads, each one carefully crafted to sway undecided voters. Social media platforms become echo chambers, as supporters and opponents of the candidates engage in heated debates. The intensity of the campaign reflects the high stakes of the election. For the candidates and their supporters, it is a fight for the soul of the nation. Section 9. Election Day, Jitters, Anticipation and Anxiety. As Election Day dawns, a palpable sense of anticipation and anxiety hangs in the air. Voters head to the polls, some with a spring in their step, others with a knot in their stomachs. The weight of the moment is undeniable. Poll workers, volunteers who have dedicated their time to ensuring a fair and accurate election, greet voters with a smile. They guide them through the process, answering questions and ensuring that every vote is counted. Outside polling stations, campaign volunteers make their final pitch to voters. They hand out leaflets, hold up signs, and engage in last-minute persuasion. Section 10. The long wait begins, counting every ballot. As the polls close, the nation collectively holds its breath. The counting begins, a meticulous process that will determine the outcome of the election. News organizations prepare for a long night, assembling teams of analysts and commentators to dissect the results as they come in. The first results trickle in from the East Coast, offering early clues about the shape of the race. As the night wears on, the focus shifts to the battleground states, where the margins are razor-thin. Every vote is carefully counted, ensuring that the will of the people is accurately reflected. The process can be agonizingly slow, but it is a testament to the enduring strength of American democracy. Section 11. A nation transformed, embracing the outcome. Regardless of the outcome, the 2024 election will have a profound and lasting impact on the United States. It will shape the nation's political landscape, its social fabric, and its standing in the world. The winning candidate will face a daunting array of challenges, from a divided electorate to a complex global landscape. They will need to govern with wisdom, compassion, and a steady hand. The American people, having exercised their right to vote, will need to come together to address the challenges facing the nation. They will need to engage in civil discourse, find common ground, and work towards a brighter future.